SkyValor moves to full production after border testing. CACI International announced that its SkyValor drone defense system will be deployed to strategic locations across the United States as the first task order under a 3-year, $500 million contract with Joint Interagency Task Force 401, known as JIATS 401, the Pentagon's task force created to defend American interests at home and abroad against fast-growing drone threats. The deal is structured as an indefinite delivery indefinite quantity contract, a common government procurement format that sets terms and spending limits for future orders without locking in exact quantities or delivery dates up front, giving the Pentagon flexibility to order additional SkyValor systems over time as needs evolve. According to a separate federal contract notice, the Army Contracting Command at Detroit Arsenal, Michigan awarded the $500 million firm fixed price agreement on July 28, 2026, following a competitive process that drew 50 bids, with an estimated completion date of July 15, 2029. SkyValor is built to find, track, and stop hostile drones before they can threaten military operations, offering defenders earlier warnings and more time to react than many existing systems provide. That extra reaction time comes from what CACI describes as the system's unmatched detection range, letting operators identify an incoming drone threat from far enough away to give them minutes to respond rather than the mere seconds many shorter-range counter-drone systems typically allow, a difference that can be the deciding factor between successfully intercepting a threat and simply watching it arrive. CACI President and Chief Executive Officer John Mengucci framed the contract as delivering exactly the kind of edge American forces and homeland defenders need against an increasingly difficult threat. Warfighters need a decisive advantage against drone threats that are faster, more accessible, and harder to detect, Mengucci said. SkyValor delivers that advantage through long-range detection, precision defeat, and the ability to adapt as drone threats evolve, giving defenders the time and intelligence to stop threats before they put our forces, borders, and critical infrastructure at risk. With successful operational evaluations complete, we are moving SkyValor into full-rate production to deliver mission-ready protection where it is needed most. Those operational evaluations Mengucci referenced took place at Marine Corps Air Station Yuma in Arizona, where JIATS 401 spent several days rigorously testing SkyValor's ability to detect and defeat a wide range of small drone threats operating beyond an operator's direct line of sight. Based on that performance, JIATS 401 formally approved SkyValor for deployment to critical sites across the country, clearing the path for the system to move from a tested prototype into an actual fielded piece of homeland and military defense infrastructure. This latest $500 million award builds on a smaller earlier deal, a separate contract JIATS 401 awarded CACI through what the government calls a commercial solutions opening, a streamlined acquisition pathway meant to let the Pentagon buy commercially available technology faster than the traditional procurement process typically allows. Under that original agreement, CACI is delivering 4 SkyValor units integrated onto heavy-duty trucks, giving military and border security operators a mobile version of the system that can relocate to wherever the drone threat happens to be most acute at a given moment, rather than remaining tied to a single fixed installation. SkyValor combines advanced sensing technology, automated defeat capabilities, and what CACI describes as decades of accumulated counter-drone experience to find, track, identify, and stop hostile drones, including cellular-enabled models that communicate over standard mobile networks rather than dedicated radio frequencies, a growing category of threat that has proven more difficult for some older counter-drone systems to reliably detect and jam. This latest contract award positions SkyValor as one of the newest tools in JIATS 401's broader Domestic Shield initiative, a Pentagon effort focused specifically on defending American military installations and critical infrastructure from drone attacks on U.S. soil, a mission that has taken on growing urgency as small, inexpensive drones have proliferated across conflict zones worldwide and increasingly raised concerns about similar threats appearing closer to home. JIATS 401 is a relatively young Pentagon organization that has already committed substantial sums towards strengthening America's counter-drone posture at a rapid pace, awarding a comparable $500 million, 3-year contract to AeroVironment earlier in July 2026 for a range of its own counter-drone products supporting the same domestic shield effort. That parallel investment in multiple companies and multiple technologies reflects a deliberate strategy Pentagon officials have described as layered defense, the idea that no single counter-drone system can reliably handle every type of threat. So effective protection instead requires combining several different detection and defeat technologies, working together rather than relying on one system to do everything. CACI's contract award arrives at a moment when American counter-drone efforts are expanding on multiple fronts simultaneously, from the roughly 1,954-mile stretch of the U.S.-Mexico border, where drone incursions have become an increasingly documented concern, to overseas operations including Operation Epic Fury, the ongoing military campaign responding to regional missile and drone threats. Whether SkyValor and the broader constellation of systems JITES 401 is now fielding can actually keep pace with how quickly drone technology continues evolving remains an open question no single contract announcement can fully answer, but for a Pentagon task force racing to close gaps that officials have publicly acknowledged still exist. A proven system moving into full-rate production represents tangible progress rather than another promise still waiting on results.